I'm excited about the reading that we have for you today. This is Lyman Grant's book launch, so we're excited to have him here, along with four of his writing fellows. Lyman Grant worked at Boston Community College for 34 years as a professor of English and creative writing and humanities. He is the author and editor of several books, including 5 volumes of poetry. The most recent is Old Men on Tuesday Mornings, poems inspired by a men's writing group with John Lee, David Jewell, David Jeffers, and John McElhenney. All right, please. Okay.
Hi. Hi. Hey, thanks for coming. It's good to see you. The process we're going to try to today is I'm going to read some poems from the book, a few, and then I'm going to talk about how the book got written in that process, kind of a hope abbreviated way for you, and then John, and Bill will come up, and we're going to do a little round robin reading together. Rather than one person coming up at a time reading, we're kind of just going to go in a row, one poem at a time, and see how that all bounces off, kind of like a writing group. And Bill's going to perform the background music for us. All right, so I'm going to start off with the title, the poem from the book, the title poem from the book, Old Men on Tuesday Mornings. Mostly we talk about our fears, that we'll be forced to be the kind of men that we would never wish to be. For me, it's the guy scooting around in that motored thing from Safeway, because my knees and gimpy hip can't bear the weight of my bad habits. Thank God I'm still limping along, leaning over my cart, pushing past the Werthers, the Insure, and Depend. Who knows how much time I have before I give up and become that creepy coot, basket brimmed with lottery tickets, cheap beer, cheese, and condoms. The last merely for show, we suppose. Even now, before that dreadful day, we know that women, including wives, have begun to indicate disinterest in any dis-ease that we could communicate. Then there is work. Because paychecks have shrunk like the other parts, one of us worries that his lucrative career will be jettisoned. No, wrong, skip the line. That one of us worries his lucrative career will come full circle, forcing him to take again that measly job he jettisoned so proudly when the gravity of youth gave way and he entered the orbit of adult success. What will become of us, we fret, now that our contact lists, like our backs, have begun to weaken? What will give out first, our pensions or our pride? But we laugh. Our fears, unruly pets, are locked away in kennels of possible futures. We take them out for walks and water breaks, perhaps a shit. Our conversations are plastic bags we pick up worries with. So we keep talking. Hey, we've made it this far. All of a sudden I got nervous. I am going to move this. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to pull this up like this. I do have a gimpy back. and it starts to tighten up and that sort of thing. So can you see me? Okay. So people who look at the cover and who know me kind of go, what the hell? Why we have a gun on the cover of this, progressive liberal from Austin, Texas? And this is kind of the answer to that. It's titled Open Care. You don't want to stare, but your eyes keep slicing his way. Then your raised chin aims your buddy's attention to the guy at the counter and the weapon holstered against his lumbar. You weren't afraid, but now your body begins somehow to nudge you from the inside. Never have you feared of terrorists or desperate seekers of oxy or meth in this second Tuesday La Madeleine until this cowboy entered. Stirring your black bitter with a couple of regular Joes, now the hackles spike as if you were a pack of dogs, lazing about the yard, licking and scratching and shooting merely the breeze, when suddenly a wolf saunters in, all strut and insult to your canine sloth. Your ironic smile about an article in the Times or something Brzezinski and Scarborough implied this morning about Trump begins to arc into a snarl, and an unpracticed growl rumbles deep inside your chest. Another white guy with a gun. The cartridges of memory spin until you see yourself through the sights of some old Western meek farmer come to town to swap stories and trade for sundries the wife has been wishing for. But the vigilantes are thirsty for revenge whenever any is called for. So you apologize to your friends. Say today you need to go home early. But still you decide to carry proudly, openly, for the dark stranger to see your box of rich surprises with its pink bow, your butter croissant and soccer tort parfait. If you believe in open carry, I'm sorry. It's not what I believe in. In the center of this book, there's a long poem of 10 parts. And it's titled Old American, which if you are an old cosmic cowboy, you may be hearing Kinky Friedman back there with Sold American. So it's my little joke and yours. But that's it. I'm using as an inspiration Samuel Taylor Coleridge's poems that are called conversation poems. And in Dejection in Ode, he talks, he makes a point that the poet can pull out of himself. The poet doesn't need inspiration out there. The poet pulls it from inside, right? So it's, that old inner, public-private sort of argument, that sort of thing. And so that's what this is about, is a poet, somebody that I met sometime, and he's going to Starbucks, and and there's a kind of a historical thing that goes on with a lot of, if you know your American literature, there are all these little asides, but this is one about sitting in the coffee shop, and you can kind of see how they look on the page there. So they're sitting in a coffee shop, and the phones go off, and it's one of those American moments where we all learn that another shooting has occurred. Then 3 or 4 iPhones erupt across this cushioned complacency of the mock living room. Ringtones and alarm bells assault the cheerful harmonies corporately condone, caustic warnings of impotent dangers. Amber stolen children, wayward seniors, timbers blazing, creek beds raging, raptures raising. The gray professional, a table over, mouths politely toward the poet's fluster. Another shooting. Want our daily dose of penance, a nation's tithe for the freedom to protect itself from itself. Possess more guns because we own too many guns. Kill because we fear we will be killed. Work and idle moments cease while faces screen themselves in horror's daily pageant. Mournful anxiety drowns out the peppy hit parade until it morphs into paranoid sympathy. and soon all that's abnormal resolves as empathetic congratulation. We dodged another one. Now, where were we? And just to give you a flavor of the book, that it's not all downer, angry poetry. Here's one called Fat Man Olympiad. And it's about bicycling. Mike, one of my bicycling buddies. And it's out Walnut Hill. You'll know the South Walnut Range up there. And then they have that hill that goes up out there. This is about that hill. As I topped the hill in the smallest sprocket that said the kids call Granny here, proud that I did not give up or give out, I began to open up on the flats, winning the imaginary race I was playing in my own private sports network. I heard a voice behind me tease, "Watch out, you're about to be passed by a 75-year-old woman." True to her word, she, to my left, zipped a biker fit and beaming, her skin crinkled like copper crepe, iron gray hair cascading from her golden helmet. And the announcer shouted, "She takes the lead, she's crushing him." And I watched her legs beat a faster cadence and pull farther and farther away while I settled into my usual pace and let her go. So thank y'all for coming. This is the book launch for our book. Alamo Bay Press is the publisher. Lowell Mick White, who is it was the editor of it. He's a professor at Texas A&M, and I'm obviously very grateful for their interest and care with the book. Joanne was asking me when did I start writing the book, and it was about I think it's 2015, John, is that when we started getting it? The fall or the spring? I have trouble. See, we're old men. So somewhere in there,
It was the spring.
we started. We decided we were friends from long ago, and we decided that we would like to get together and write poems and talk to each other about our lives and read poems from other writers. There's a lot of Rilke and Rumi and Robert Bly and Neruda kind of floating through our lives there. And so we gathered the group together and we started meeting at one of our houses, and it kind of moved around a little bit. And it got me started writing again. I've been writing a lot of prose over the years before that, and so it got me writing again. And then one of us left town, which we'll forgive him for. And then so the group quit meeting, and then but it had gotten me started writing, and I started reading. Jim Harrison was the person I've read a lot of. I'm sure we have some Jim Harrison over there. And so on mornings, luckily during the summer, I was teaching distance learning classes only, so I could stay at home and teach online and do that. And so I would read Jim Harrison poems and I would write. And these are Jim Harrison's late poems that he wrote in the 60s. I meant to say also, this writing group actually has its roots back in the 80s. David Jewell, who was going to be here but couldn't be here today, taught a class, and then John, and as I remember it, John McElhenney and I and Bill Jeffers met with David Jewell at various houses. So this was in the late 80s. And all of it has its roots in John Lee, who wrote a book called The Flying Boy back in the middle 80s, I guess is when it was, and started the Austin Men's Center. And so David Jewell created his poetry group out of the Austin Men's Center, and and now I'm kind of doing introductions, by the way. I'm living this. John Lee and I, and my wife at the time, Sharon Adams, and John McElhenney founded Man Magazine. John was the first designer of it. And we put out this magazine that grew out of a newsletter, Awesome Men's. It won awards. It was famous. John was appearing on Oprah and in various other shows talking about recovery work and things like that. The Awesome Men Center grew and grew. The magazine we ended up with 64 pages, color cover, recycled paper, soy inks. We all graduated to those things. 10,000 copies in bookstores like this all across the nation until the conglomeration, and it basically died during the recession for the Bush recession, the Bush 1 recession. And in any case, that's sort of the history of us guys. We have a long history of talking about our lives, loving poetry, believing in the power of poetry to heal, to inform, to guide. And so this group got me writing again. And so since this book is here, I'm so very glad to share this stage with these wonderful men. And so John Lee, Bill Jeffers, and John McElhenney are going to join me. We're going to try to do a little round robin of poetry.